What's up, everyone? Josh here again. Been a while since I did one of these atonement videos, and just to be honest, I've been doing some pretty deep diving, some deep soul searching here lately, and these already aren't exactly the easiest thing for me to do. Opening up to you guys like this and just bearing it all, but on the other end of it, the feedback is overwhelming. The personal messages, the DMs you guys are sending me of stories that you have that relate, or listening to these stories help you open up about yours, and the conversations we have definitely make it worthwhile to me, and let me know that this is probably what I'm supposed to be doing, or at least I'm in this season of sharing, because it seems to be helping some of you guys and gals. So I appreciate the fact that most of you are watching these the whole way through, and we can have these conversations. It helps me a lot too. So like, I don't know. I was trying to keep these in order, like, from birth to where I am now, but I think there's just different things hit me at different times, and I just want to speak from those truths, while they're happening in my life. So right now it's kind of like waffles. I'm struggling a little bit because some of you are telling me that I'm motivating you guys, or that I'm inspiring you guys. And it's kind of not a role that I'm used to, because I've been a leader. I haven't been a great leader. I've been a decent leader at times, and I've been a shitty leader at times. I've been an effective leader in the streets, for sure, at times. And for a lack of a better word, and I don't title myself that way, but for it to fit this story, it just makes me think of mentorship. And there's a lot of people out there who I probably will never meet in the world, videos or books that I've read, that have become mentors to me. And then there are people that I know in the real world that are mentors to me, and then I may know them a little bit, or maybe I know them very well as a result of who they are and my attraction to the things they're doing. But I think back to the mentors that got me here originally, like as a kid. So my dad died when I was 2. Single mom life isn't great all the time. My mom didn't have steady boyfriends or long-term relationships, and that's not to say she had a bunch of boyfriends or whatever, but there just never was a man around the house. And so there was a lot of times I had uncles, but they weren't, they were around, in and out, and they were good role models, but they weren't always there for whatever reason. Would be, won't be. There's a lot of dynamic to that, and maybe I'll get into that later. I'd say it wasn't for lack of trying on their part at times, for sure. But like a lot of young men, I turned to the streets, and man, the streets will just swallow your little ass up. And at the time, I didn't really understand some of the things that was happening, but this was kind of some of the beginning phases of my criminal enterprises as a child. And you know, I'd met up with dudes who were you know, I'm 10, 11 years old, and these guys are, I'm 10, 11, 12 years old, whatever. And you know, these guys are 17, 18, 20. So of course I'm already like in awe and thinking this is the coolest thing ever to hang out with these cats. But you know, these dudes, it's the streets, and everybody's got a purpose and a function, and you know, you get used. And so I was taught a lot of stuff, and because I was young, I realize now, I wasn't told that at the time, because of course, you know, it's all a con or manipulation or an angle. So I really wasn't explain this at the time. But you know, it was because I was young. So, you know, some of these guys would go breaking, you know, I'd help these guys break into houses, and here I am, 10, 11 years old, pretending to play with matchbox cars on the sidewalk in front of a house they're breaking into, and I'm the lookout. And it's smart on the, you know, it's smart. I can't even fault them for it. Is it good? Is it right? Is it moral? Obviously not, but you know, that's how life is sometimes, man. So, you know, and one of the main dudes that I did that with, I mean, I feel like he did genuinely care about me, but he was definitely just on some other shit on a different level, man. And he taught me. He actually like took me under his wing and schooled me on criminal stuff, stealing, breaking into cars, stealing cars, breaking into houses. I used to be in junior high. I'd be in junior high, 6th grade, stealing cars and driving, you know, 1-year-old or current year model. I almost got in big trouble once driving a brand new Z28 Camaro to school in the 6th grade that was stolen, you know. At the time, I was as proud as could be about it. They didn't know who did it, or nobody saw me pull up when I pulled up, but you know, they just found a stolen car in the parking lot. I got questioned for it. A few of my buddies did too, but you know, so there's all kinds of shit like that. But just one of the things this dude taught me was, you know, be committed and see shit through. And one of the no matter what, and no matter what the odds are against you, see it through to the end, by any means necessary. And it's kind of something I have a little bit of problems with now, because in his world, and it worked very good for me for many, many years, that meant with extreme force. And I still hear people talk about this dude. And this was back in the mid 80s, and I still hear people talk about this dude today. And last time I probably heard his name brought up by somebody who had seen him recently was probably 7-8 years ago, and they were like, yeah, still don't mess with him. And one example is he had neighborhood beef, and here I am, man, I think I was 11 years old, but that's my dude. And we're out on the streets in the neighborhood at that time. I can't remember what we had been doing, but it wasn't up to no good. But these people we had beef with, we were across the street from their house, at somebody else's house, and they're like 5-6 houses down on the opposite side of the street, and one of them happens to come out and see us out there, and they start running their mouths, and then the family comes out of the house. He's just not a dude that backs down no matter what. And one of them come out of the house with a shotgun, and this dude runs across the street and is standing toe to toe with these dudes arguing and fighting, getting ready to fight with them. Now, mind you, the fact that I'm 11 or whatever doesn't even matter, because that's my man, that's my dude, and I'm right across the street with him. I'd have got mopped up, could have got shot, whatever, but that's just how it is, man. When you're a young man and you're looking to other men in the street to mentor you and love you and show you how to be a man, you're loyal, and you got that love, and it's no matter what. And one of the most it was a valuable lesson throughout my life for sure. It's also been a detrimental thing a lot of times. But I mean, I watched this dude get shot in the hand with a shotgun from about 10 feet away, run up, take the shotgun from the people, and chase them in their house, while all kinds of violence and whatnot ensued. And he walks out the house, and honestly, I'm stunned. I don't know how to process that stuff, and I'm just standing in place, because here I was, 2-3 feet away from this dude, shoulder to shoulder, and just watched him get shot, and then watched him come out on top of the situation. And I mean, he comes out of the house like it ain't nothing with their shotgun, and he's like, "Hey, come on, let's go." And we leave. And what I learned that day is, no matter what the odds are, no matter how many people are against you, because there was 5 or 6 of them and 1.5 of him. But honestly, I wouldn't do anything. You don't back down no matter what, and you don't quit until you're dead. And in the streets, doing the things that I did later, it was very valuable. And it did gain me a reputation. And not that I'm bragging or anything, but it did save my life, because I'd run across other people who had reputations, considered to be badasses, whatever you want to call it, and even though we maybe didn't fear each other, we just knew that somebody was losing, and sometimes the best thing was to just be diplomatic about stuff, and let shit ride. I know there's a lot of times I perpetrated a lot of violence on a lot of people in my youth, and I'm not proud of that. There was a time that I was, but I grew to enjoy it, because there is power and status that comes with that. If you walk in a room full of lions, and people know you're a lion and your teeth are sharp, they don't bother you. But the price you pay is the blood stains throughout the years, and those stains run deep. And those things, that blood seeps into your soul, trust me. And I see a lot of that stuff continuously. I live with a lot of that stuff. So I know a lot of times people will see me out and they think I'm not the most social person, but I'm trying. I just learned to stay away from people. It's not because I'm uncontrollably violent or anything these days or whatever. Just after a while, my upbringing taught me that. Keep your distance, always be assessing the situation, always be reading the room, and don't interact too much. So if you see me at the track and I'm in a sea of people, but I look like I'm alone, it's just habit, and I don't even notice I'm doing it. It's something I'm trying to work on. But back on topic is, You know, that dude was a good dude to me in my life at that point in time, when I didn't have anybody else. And he raised me up and taught me, you know, taught me how to earn, taught me how to protect myself, taught me how to establish a reputation and a set of standards for how people in the community treat me. You know, all those kinds of things that we all want our kids to learn and do, but probably not in that way. So the thing is, man, be careful who's mentoring your children. Be careful who you are, especially around anybody, but around children in this instance, I guess. You know, I was kind of overwhelmed a couple weeks ago with some comments, and something that really hit home for me was somebody who's really turned out to be a really good friend over the course of the last 6 months or something, but especially these last couple months. My buddy Joe, up at Bipolar Performance, and he said, "Man, you're doing a great job, and you know, people notice, but the one thing you gotta be careful of is, or the one thing you gotta keep in mind is, somebody's always watching, and you never know how what you're saying or doing may impact their life." And I guess that's why I'm doing this video or doing this topic, because, you know, I was watching that dude, not Joe, but, you know, I was watching my hood mentor per se, and just soaking it up like a sponge, man. And then you know, what was next was imitation and execution, and wow, I'll get into some of those things later, but I don't live with a lot of regret per se. I'm learning to understand that I had to do everything I've ever done in my life to get here, and that's helping me go to where I want to be, which is, at some point in time, I'd like to restore, I guess is the best word I can think of. You know, I've inflicted a lot of damage and pain on the world as a kid, and that stuff's eaten my soul, and all these years I haven't really known how to deal with it. So I just want to restore back to the world what I've taken away, or the damage I've inflicted on it. At some point, I would like to understand and know peace in my soul and in my heart. And, you know, had I had the right mentors from day one and had people consistently around, maybe that story could be a little different. So, hey, if you got an ex-wife or a baby mom and you're not in your kids' lives, fix that shit. You know, if you got a little kid in your neighborhood that dad ain't around for whatever reason, or mom, ladies, I can't really speak to that, but girls need good solid mentors also. You know, take them in and teach them the right stuff. Don't let them get sucked up by the streets. Don't let them get sucked up by the people that'll have them out there doing drugs and committing crimes and spreading darkness and pain and misery and suffering onto the world and into their hearts and souls, because a lot of people don't make it back. I'm dumb and durable, and I don't deserve to be here for the things I've done. I know this. I absolutely know this, that you know, if the world had to balance out, I shouldn't be here. I mean, there's a lot of great people who've done great stuff that I've known in my lifetime. They should live to be 100. They got taken easy way before their time. But I don't know. I'm supposed to be here, so we're going to see why. But, just think about that. I'm sure one day I'll be a little more eloquent about it, but be careful who's raising your kids. Be careful who's raising you now, as an adult even. 20, 30, 70, who we surround ourselves with is who we become. I know this for a fact. And, man, I think we all want to be happy. And I think when whoever your creator is, as you view it, or if you don't view it that way, I think we all can agree that in our final moments we'd like to have peace and happiness in our lives and our hearts be full. We should know that from day one. So help everybody else out. Maybe you'll save yourself in the process, like I think I'm doing maybe a little bit right now. Because you guys definitely are helping me, and I appreciate it. This one's a little long, and I apologize, but it's kind of a lot to talk about. If you made it to the end, thanks for sticking it out. Appreciate each and every one of you. And, man, there's more of these crappy videos. If I shouldn't say that, but there's more of these non-standard YouTube personality type videos. Go check them out too if you got anything out of this, man. And let's all help each other out and heal together. Thanks, I appreciate you.